It's 11:11:11 here by me. Hopefully this is working. You know, I'm always wondering when I'm here if it, there you are, it is. Okay. All right, well, welcome everyone. I can see Susan and Sean and Peggy and Gilda and Savannah and Donna and Laura of the North and Lisette and Wednesday and Shauna and our Lori. So yes, I hope everybody had a wonderful Yule. And I don't know if you notice, but I always kind of notice on Christmas Eve there's a quietness. Even though some people are running house to house and still frantically, wrapping presents or whatever they're doing, there seems to be a bit of a stillness on Christmas Eve. And I think it's because it's the last day, really, of the solstice, right? We talked last week about how the sun kind of gets to that point and it seems to be in the same place for a few days. And then around the 25th is when it gets moving and when you can visibly notice that it's moving. So I'm going to do just a short show today because we have to go open the store, ho ho ho, at noon. So I won't be here too long, but I want to give you some really cool workings for you to do for yourself. So you might want to take some notes, or obviously you can always come back and listen again. So tomorrow on Christmas Day, you'll notice that the energy starts moving again, that it's been very quiet the last few days if you're sensitive to energy like that. I know we're all very sensitive to the moon, but not all of us react in the same way to the sun. But this is we've been kind of in the sun's dark moon phase, if you know what I mean. So tomorrow things get moving. And I'm sure you've all heard of the 12th nights, the Mother's Night, and all that kind of thing. So you could see how Christmas Eve became Mother's Night, with the Virgin Mary giving birth to the Christ child. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a pen and paper when we're ready. You don't have to do it now. You could come back and watch this again. And it might be nice if you lit a candle, and if you were at a Yule celebration and got a candle, you might want to light that candle for your magic or divination. And just focus for a minute on your intention to understand what the new year is going to bring for you. So let's see who else I have here. Meredith and Kimberly. Hello, hello. Yes, I see. Yeah. All right. So what you're going to do is tomorrow you're going to pull 12 cards from whatever deck you want to pull them from. If you have a separate deck that you don't use all the time, that you wouldn't mind having a card out of, that would be a great deck to use, meaning that you could put that card up for a day on your altar if you have an altar. So what you're going to do is write out 1 to 12 down on a list, 1 to 12. Then you're going to write 26th, 27th. So 1 is the 26th of December, 2 is the 27th of December, 3 is the 28th of December, 4 the 29th, 5 the 30th, 6 the 31st, 7 is the 1st of January, card 8 is the 2nd of January, card 9 the 3rd, the 10th card is the 4th of January, the 11th card is the 5th of January, 12th card is the 6th of January. So you should have 1 to 12 in a line, and then 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then next you're going to write where 1 and the 26th are, January. The 2, 27 gets February. the 3/28 March, the 4/29 April, the 5/30 May, the 6/31 June, the 7th 1st July, the 8th 2nd August, the 9th 3rd September, the 10 4th October, the 11 5th November, and the 12th the 6th December. So the cards that you're pulling are going to govern a day over the next 12 days until we get to the Epiphany, or St. James Day, or Little Christmas. Okay? So the 12 nights of Yuletide, in a sense, or Wintertide. I like to call it Wintertide because we kind of have Yule and all those Mithras myths and Sinterklaas and Santa Claus and Saint Nick and Christmas tide and all these kind of things are being celebrated. Kwanzaa, all these festivals of light. So I like to call it Wintertide, how we're going to tide ourselves through this winter change, because we know that the days are going to start getting longer. So you're going to sit, I would light a candle, maybe have a place at your altar, whatever you want to do. And you're going to focus on each number, the first card I'm choosing. And you pick that card, and you could write it next to where it says 1/26 January. You pull the second card, it goes by 2/27 February, and so on down the whole list. Then when you're done choosing the cards, look at that card, take it and look at it, and allow yourself to be open to the first thing that comes into your mind. Okay? So the first thing that comes into your mind about that card, like, for example, let's say we pulled this card. So I might write careful listening to gossip, or pay attention to dreams. Whatever comes to your mind first goes in that card's meaning in your list. All right. So now you have the 12 cards, right? So you've got 1 to 12. You've got the dates from the 26th to the 6th. You've got January through December, and now you've got your 12 cards pulled, and now you're going to go back and write a sentence or just a few words about what first comes into your personal energy for that card's meaning for you, right? This is for you personally. It's like it's a year's working. All right. So now we've done that whole exercise. We've got our days, our cards, our little meanings. And on the first day, December 26th, it's the January card. On December 26th, the next day, you're going to put that first card up. So I would have this card up for December 26th. And I would go through my day being mindful that that's my card. Not necessarily that the card is going to influence your day, but you want to be aware of what's unfolding that day that could be connected to that card. All right. Then at the end of the day, you're going to go back and you're going to look at what you wrote about that card, and you're going to see what happened that day. And you say, oh, I said beware of gossip, and people were complaining and downloading and trying to get me to take sides, whatever it is. And you make note of that. Then on the next day, the 27th, you put your next card up. You make note to your mind, what did I say about this card? What are my predictions about this card and how it's going to work out? Right, so we'll pretend that we got another card here. So we'll pretend that this was the next day's card, the 27th. And my words might be growth and alchemy and expansion. And you see how the 27th goes, and how you connect what happened that day with your prediction about that day. And you make note of that. And so on until you get to January 6th. Now, the first card and its prediction and its insight of the day becomes your card and insight for January. So you have one card that you've given yourself a few words about, that you've made a prediction about, that you've allowed that day to unfold and teach you about that energy for you personally. And now you have this card. Hold on, Lisette. Now you have this card to tell you about that entire month's overview. You could use an oracle if you wanted, but the exercise usually works better with tarot, because tarot is more connected to the tree of life. It's more connected to the sun and moon, and you have a numerology also available, right? Oracle cards are not as in-depth, but if that said, if you really have an oracle deck and it really, really speaks to you, then yes, you could use it. But the tarot has a lot more in-depth insights, right? Like you might have pulled that Empress card and the number 3 just keeps coming up for that day. So then that day, the first day you have the card, you look at what the number 3 expresses as well and how that's linked to your day. So basically what you have is mini predictions for 12 days, and you're compiling or journaling an overview for 12 months. So it's a really fun way to start to see things in a deeper perspective, and it's also an interesting exercise to kind of get you thinking and connected. And again, when I teach tarot class, I always tell people, pull a card in the morning and don't look at it. Think about your day and look at the card at the end of the day, because you don't want the card to influence your day when you're first learning tarot. But this is purposeful and mindful. It's getting you to make your own predictions, not just for a day, but to use that day's unfolding to give you a month's overview. So there you go. It's a lot of work, but it's something that you could do in a short period of time, right? You could give yourself that few minutes in the morning to look at the card and look at the words you wrote for the card, and then a few minutes in the evening to say, oh, you know what? I was right. I thought about this, or that, and look, my goodness, what a coincidence, of which there are none. There are only synchronicities, that this unfolded. And this is speaking about that month that's coming, right? So, I mean, you could be doing it on New Year's Day, and New Year's Day is talking about July. And that's how you can start to see your year unfolding. I will also say that I understand that a lot of people who are empathic are feeling really heavy, and try to get in a sacred space before you do this exercise. Smudge, cleanse, whatever you're going to do, and do light a candle to keep the light, because you don't want all of your predictions to reflect maybe the heavy space you're in just now. You want to get into a space where you are neutral, right? So you're not maybe being overly negative, but maybe not overly positive either. Try to be neutral. What is this card's real meaning? What do I see here for me? And how do I think it's going to unfold? All right. So enjoy your day. When we come back next week, it'll be New Year's Eve, and we'll both be here for a longer show because we're not working New Year's Eve, God is willing. And we'll talk about January's astrology and the rituals that you could do for the new moon, full moon, and get yourself prepared for Imbolc, for Gwalfryd, the first day of spring. So we're turning the corner, people. The sun's going to get moving tomorrow, and we should get moving too with seeing how the new year is going to unfold for us. I hope this made sense. You can go back and yes, Wendy, this is like progressing the natal chart 1 degree every day. Yep. And seeing where that sun is lighting. You could do a taroscope that way as well. Hey, Eva, welcome. You could do a taroscope for yourself that way as well. Looking at the tarot card that you have and where the sun is or where the new and full moon are highlighting. Oh, which I should say, if you thought last year was interesting, wait till you see 2026. I've printed the charts for each month, and I am ready to do taroscope, natal transits and taroscopes for the year again. So all you have to do is call and schedule that appointment. It takes about an hour, and I'll be offering those again. I'm going to be reading Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays throughout the new year. So give us a call if you want to have my insights into what the forecast is for you. All right. Thank you so very, very much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I hope that you do get some pajama time tomorrow to pull your 12 cards. Okay. Peace and blessings. Love you all. Thank you very, very much for being part of our community. Blessed be. Now I just have to see if I can do this. I have no idea how to end stream because my mouse isn't here. It's over there. Anyway, sorry folks, you know me and technology. I think it's still live. I can't tell. Yeah, I think it's still live. I don't know what to do.